Good evening, everybody. It is Wednesday, January 13th, 2022. We have a couple things to talk about tonight. Stocks got hit, especially growth stocks. The NASDAQ was down about 2% today, or about 1.5%. Blackstone warns on a commodity supercycle that could last for the next 10 years. And we have some important news out of Robinhood. Yes, Robinhood, the retail broker-dealer, has came out and announced that the vast majority of their employees will be working remotely indefinitely. So that touches on briefly what we were talking about yesterday about how companies tried to send their employees back to work, but that has since backfired. Hey, Ken Kramer is here. What's up, Ken Kramer? Good to see you. Theresa is here. Andy is here. Says hi, Tom. Jonathan Richards. NG says hello there. Glad to be here early. I know I told you this before, but now a part of my nightly routine. Wow, very cool. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's going to be a short stream tonight, everybody. Probably about an hour or even maybe 30 minutes. Just depends. Jason FTO is here. What's up, Jason? Good to see you. Let me fix the camera. I think we're good now. Hey, Two Wheel Pines is here. Andy is here. Says good evening. Ken Kramer says drop for the market. Absolutely, we're going to talk about that tonight. Alan Wilson is here. What is up, Alan Wilson? 007 says greetings to all. Mike says the market was brutal today. Indeed it was. And Solo 401 is here. What's up, Solo? What's up, Mike? What is up, everybody? Jonathan Richards is here. Charlie Richardson says hi. Toronto Props. And Vinny Castellano. What is going on, everybody? So we're here in downtown Miami. We're going to be walking to Brickell again, but we're going to take a little bit of a different way, better way. The camera's been acting a little bit weird tonight, so. Sammy says hi, Tom. Charlie Richardson says beautiful night. So I believe there is a Miami Heat game that is going to be going on tomorrow. Played right here. So we did see a major sell-off in the NASDAQ today. A lot of the growth software as a service stocks got hit pretty hard. So we did have a follow-through day. I believe it was on Tuesday, but not all follow-through days will work. Not all follow-through days will work. So, hold on, just let me adjust something. I got a new mic, and the wires are going a little bit crazy. Hey, Rock Band 5 Million says hi there. Where are you going to in Brickell? So we should be going to Mary Brickell Village tonight if we make it there. Rolling the stream for about an hour. Otto is here. Connor Hicks is here, says hi. It's a very windy night here in downtown Miami, everybody. We're supposed to get a cold front. It's going to get down to about 65 degrees over the coming days. So it should be pretty cold here. Soho guy says, yo Tom, any new highs to BlackRock? So Soho, we did have a little bit of a piece of information that came out of BlackRock today. And BlackRock is the largest money manager by assets. And they are predicting a commodity supercycle that should last for the next 10 years. So they said consumers should expect higher commodity prices over the next 10 years. Which is pretty crazy, and after we had a CPI print of about 7% yesterday, inflation seems to really be cranking. Shadow Ship says, do we get to see your face? Yes. Yes, very soon. Fresh Start says, hi, Tom. How are you doing? My day is good. How was your day? My day was really, really good. Very busy. Very busy, to say the least. GGNYC is here. Carolina Tom says, good evening, Tom. I'm afraid, as I've been saying for a month, pain and opportunity is coming. Yeah, so Carolina Tom, I was actually talking to one of my really good friends that runs a pretty decent sizable hedge fund, relatively speaking. And one of the things we were talking about is we think that the major indices need to see a 15 to 20% correction across the board because we've now had 2 follow-through days. And if anybody doesn't know what a follow-through day is, you could read my newsletter, the Behind the Street newsletter. So just to let you know, this thing has been ringing for over an hour. I've been here working in downtown Miami, and this thing has been ringing and stuck like this for an hour. Hey, the Swan, what's going on? So usually what a follow-through day is when the market is in a correction and then we have a big rally day on higher than normal volume. That usually means that big institutions are buying, and that is the signal of a start of a new uptrend. And every single major bull market has started on a follow-through day, but not all follow-through days will work. Many of them will fail. And now we've seen 2 follow-through days that have failed. So this leads me to believe that we could probably see a sizable correction in the indices, which wouldn't be all that bad. I think if we're going to be lucky enough to get a 15% correction in the major indices, I think there's going to be an unbelievable amount of opportunity to really make some money in this year. Hey, XXO Bob says that railroad track goes to the port of Miami. Something has triggered the signal system. Yeah, Bob, it seemed that thing has been ringing for like an hour now. I'm not too sure why, but I had to do some work down here tonight, and it was ringing all day. Fresh start. I'm not sure how many railroad crossings are in Miami. Santa Monica Rodriguez here. Good to see you. Good to see you, Santa Monica. Chris says howdy. Ramos says hello from Brazil. Ken Kramer says I think inflation is going much higher. I agree. Well, we had a big warning coming out of BlackRock today. I'm not sure if anybody saw that, but BlackRock issued a big warning to not only their institutional clients, but retail as well. And they are predicting a commodities super cycle. So they think that pretty much food, energy across the board is going to stay elevated at higher than normal prices for the foreseeable future. And they predict about a 10-year commodity super cycle. So we'll definitely have to see how that plays out. Joey is here. Hey, what's up, Joey? Says hi, Tom. Photos from around New York. Says that must have been very annoying today with the railroad sign. It was. So this is the Freedom Tower here, lit up in red, and then right next to it, one of my favorite buildings in Miami, the Paramount building. Fresh start to Tom. I saw a sign for I-95. Good to see you. Hey, the Austin Tennis is good evening, Tom. Austin Tennis, what's up? Our favorite PagerDuty account executive, the Austin Tennis. Good to see you. Hey, Nikki Costa says, hello, Tom. Awesome stream. Thank you for joining the stream. It's good to see you. Yeah, Andy says it's good to see the Freedom Tower again. One of my favorite buildings here. Hey, Tortellini is here. Minraj. What is up, Minraj? Says, does inflation make crypto go up or down? Well, I think that depends. Anybody you ask, some people say that crypto is a risk asset, so a risk-on asset. But many of the other really crypto, or I would say Bitcoin maximalists, a lot of them would argue that cryptocurrencies acts as an inflation hedge. And I was reading a very interesting article today in the Wall Street Journal where they were looking at on-chain metrics of Bitcoin. More specifically, the on-chain metrics of people who are using cryptocurrencies in Turkey. And as we know, and we've been talking about this a lot on the stream, the Turkish currency is called the lira, the Turkish lira. And the Turkish lira is in hyperinflationary collapse versus the US dollar. So this Wall Street Journal article was covering the on-chain metrics of Bitcoin in Turkey, and they've seen a 90% increase this year of people in Turkey using and buying Bitcoin. So I think it's, number one, I'm not going to say it's good news, because it's never good news to know that people are suffering and experiencing hyperinflation. That's not good, because when currencies collapse, a lot of people die, and that's just a fact. And that is never good. But I think over time, cryptocurrencies, more specifically Bitcoin and Ethereum, should act as an inflation hedge. But as of right now, it seems that if you put the NASDAQ and you put Bitcoin against each other, like overlay them on the same chart, you could probably argue that Bitcoin is acting as a risk-on asset. Hey, Christina. Good to see you, Christina. Hope you're well. Hey, Jose Sanchez says, Tom, you sound very smart. So do you. You sound very smart too, Jose. Good to see you. Kevin Lee. What's up, Kevin Lee? Says, good evening, Tom. 8:17 p.m. Atlantic Avenue and Barclays Center, Flatbush Avenue, New York City. What's up, everybody? Fresh Start says, Tom, have you ever seen a New Jersey Transit train at Penn Station? Of course, Fresh Start. I'm not a big fan of, Fresh Start, I'm not a big fan of Jersey Transit. We'll get into that another night, but Fresh Start, I'm definitely not a big fan of Jersey Transit. Prince Charming says, hi, Tom. The Austin Tennis says, what is the topic for tonight? So the Austin Tennis, we are going to have what I would like to call a multifaceted stream, because I wanted to touch on a couple things, if I could talk right tonight. Number one being Robinhood, the major broker-dealer that's focused on retail, came out and said they are going to make their employees work remotely indefinitely. So all of their employees, I believe Robinhood has about 4,300 employees. They said the vast majority of their workforce will transition to remote indefinitely, which I think a lot of other companies are going to go about that way too. The next thing is BlackRock administered a warning to their institutional clients as well as the general retail commentary that we could be entering a commodity super cycle where not only the prices of traditional commodities like we think about lumber, precious metals and things like that, but also food prices are probably going to be staying elevated for the next 10 years. And as we know, with the Federal Reserve constantly printing money, should they be forced to raise rates, I'm not sure that's going to be enough to ward off this inflation. Hey, MKC Updates says, hello, Walks in Wall Street. What kind of food do you like in downtown Miami? So I've actually never eaten in downtown Miami, but I always eat in North Beach, which is about maybe 5 miles away from here, and they have fantastic Cuban food. I'm a big fan of Cuban food. Hey, Oscar V says, that's my building. What's up, Oscar? Hope you're well. I see Sunshine After Rain is here. Hey, Sunshine. Good to see you. Soho Guy says, that trend for the next 10 years is all lies and fake news, says Soho. Ken Kramer says, Federal Reserve will keep printing. Mets fan 1023 says, is tonight the night to ride the Metro Mover? Ooh, we may. So speaking of fake news, Soho, one thing that I wanted to add, Bloomberg came out with an article today that is trying to convince everybody that inflation is actually good for the lower class and people who have a lower income. And it's actually very bad for people who are extremely wealthy. So I believe, I'm paraphrasing here, but I actually put a link to the article on my Instagram, and Bloomberg said something to the effect that inflation impacts the wealthy more than it does the working class and the lower class, which is total fake news. And the only reason why Bloomberg put that out is because we got an egregious CPI print yesterday of 7%. So last month we had a CPI print of 6.8%. This month, inflation, the CPI print came in at 7%. So the mainstream media is just trying to do damage control. So we'll talk about that. Inflation really hits the working class people the hardest. Ken Kramer says Bloomberg is propaganda. Hey, Sally is here. Says M here watching again, Tom. What's up, Sally? I hope you had a great day. So this is the Metro Mover here in downtown Miami. Tortellini, good to see you. Roy S. says, hi, Tom and mods. Wishing you all a fantastic day. Thank you, Roy. Appreciate you. Moon FXR says, hey, Tom, what's cracking? Not too much. Christian Sandoval is here. Ken Roberts is joining us from Melville, New York on Long Island. Says, good evening, Tom. Good evening, Ken. Tortellini says, Tom, all news is biased. Agreed. Sunshine After Rain, good to see you. Oscar says that building increased rent by 35% in 1 year. That is really crazy. Oscar V says they need to increase rates. I agree. Mets fan 1023 says I might buy some dips tomorrow. So I guess I'll cover that a little bit, and I sort of briefly touched on this in the newsletter, but if you're actively buying equities or stocks in a long-term retirement account, then I think it's okay to, get your feet wet and start buying. But if you're actively managing a long-short portfolio, whether you're running money for clients or whatever you guys are doing, I think in times like these, it's very important not to get all excited every time the market drops a couple points. Because contrary to what a lot of people think, a lot of people are new to the stock market. They just got involved into the stock market in 2020 when everybody was just locked away during a pandemic. And not a lot of people have experienced extended bear markets where equities prices can stay suppressed for many years. So a lot of the times when the market is very choppy and when we have a peak, a lot of the times it's just best to stay out of the market until we can identify a trend change. And one of the ways we could do that is watching if the indices can break back above the 200-day moving average. I wonder what's going on in here. You guys have to tell me because I can't see. I'm not sure what this is, and I can't see. Oscar V says it's a CrossFit event. Very cool. Hey, Nicholas Persad is here. Hey, Nicholas. Good to see you, Nicholas. Ed Dunkel, how are you? Jovic says pull-up contest. So CrossFit. So what is CrossFit exactly? Is that no free weights and it's just all like body exercises? I'm not too sure. But I think all it is what? Like push-ups, pull-ups, things like that? Hey, Daryl says, Tom, taxes are high. Rents plus crime force people to move to Florida. This is Daryl. What's up, Daryl? Fresh start. I don't know if Miami has a Chinatown. So this is Wadapalooza, Miami. Let's see what it says. Interesting. But I truly believe that if we get lucky enough, because this market is very thin, and you guys know me, I always tend to lean more bullish than I do bearish. But if we're lucky enough to get a 10 to 20% correction across all the indices, we're going to make a lot of money this year. We're going to make a lot of money this year because that is going to create such a multiple compression. And if we look at PE ratios going back to February of last year to where they are now, we're already experiencing unbelievable PE compression. So as long as we have a couple earnings cycles that roll through and earnings come in better than expected, we have a real opportunity to make some money. Oscar V says there is no quality jobs in Miami. Work in tech or banking, there's quality jobs. Tomorrow, the big day, major season. And that means it's back to business. Tomorrow, some of the major investment banks on the street report earnings. Insight or an indicator as to the health of the average American consumer. One of the things I like to look for, especially when financials start to report earnings, is I pay very close attention to the credit card and debit card data. So I like to pay attention to Bank of America, JP Morgan Chase, and Citi, because these are the biggest credit card and debit card issuers, as well as Visa, MasterCard, and such like that. So if they experience higher than average credit card spending, well, then we could probably project that and say, okay, well, maybe Walmart and Target earnings are going to be good. Apple's going to come in good. A lot of tech is going to come in better than expected. So for tomorrow, we're going to do a big recap on the stream. Q4 earnings season will kick off with the major banks. Oscar V says 200 Biscayne. Hey, the Mighty Bull is here. Good to see you, the Mighty Bull. MKC Updates says, hello, Walks in Wall Street. Would you mind looking for a horrible place? I don't know what you mean. Ken Kramer says AMD will beat earnings. What's up, Ken Kramer? Lost in the Curve says if a company has to pay more for raw goods, guess who pays? The consumer. That's who takes the hit every time. Lost in the Curve, you hit the nail right on the head. And that's what we were talking about on the stream yesterday. And that is why Bloomberg, the Bloomberg article that came out today, is massive fake news. That is the epitome of fake news. All they're trying to do is cover up for the egregious CPI numbers that came out yesterday. So what, let me see who said that in the chat. So what Lost in the Curve said was absolutely right. And this is why during times of very, very high inflation, you want to be able to own stocks and own equities in companies that have extremely strong brands. Ooh, somebody says we're buffering here. Hold on. What about now? Are we good now? Are we buffering still? Hey, Will is here, says looks good. No directional on this guy. That's always good. Hey, what's up, Will? Good to see you. GGMYC is here. How are you? Nobody uses a directional in Miami. XXX. So yeah, what I was saying is that during times of very high inflation, you want to own companies that have very strong brands, because just what Lost in the Curve said, you know, they're going to pass those costs right on to consumers. So let's say if you're Apple and the raw materials that go into the iPhone go up 30%, their gross margins, but Apple has such a good brand to where they can just pass that cost on to consumers, and consumers will be more than willing to pay that premium for the iPhone. So instead of an iPhone, let's say $700, Apple just will raise the price to $750 and maintain their margins, and maybe even expand their margins. Hey, EBITDA says, Tom, what is your thoughts on inflation and the Fed? I think they need to step it up and do it like 50 basis points. Yeah, I mean, I think that even raising interest rates a little bit is not going to do anything to sort of reduce inflation at all, to be honest. I think it's just going to be the smoke and mirrors narrative that Fed Chair Jerome Powell always puts out, that he is going to, taper and raise people in the middle class and people in the lower class, contrary to what the Bloomberg article says. So the Bloomberg came out and said that inflation is actually good for the working class and it's actually bad for people who are rich and have a lot of money. And that is so far from the truth, because when you're rich and when you're wealthy, you own a lot of assets. And when you have extremely high inflation, that inflates those asset prices. So if we look at the S&P 500, from the lows in March of 2020, has doubled. Prices of housing has doubled. Multifamily units, you talk about single family homes. The people who own these assets are the top 1%. So it's actually the exact opposite of what Bloomberg projects its narrative to be. Inflation is really, really hard on the lower class and the middle class, but it's fantastic for the upper class, because those are the guys that are getting even more wealthy. Hey, Homer Simpson says, hi Tom from the Philippines. Chip stocks took more of a beating today. Too many whales in the ocean. Buying. What's up, Homer Simpson? Good to see you. Edwin says, I have never. What's up, Edwin? You could just ignore the Nightbot. John L says, CPI numbers says housing increased only 4%. Forbes article says real number is 17%. I agree with that. Yeah, just think about that. Imagine if you don't own any assets and you're just renting, and your rent is just continuously going up, $100 a year. The landlord is actually making more money and more margin because they can write off depreciation for the property and things like that. So do not believe the narrative that Bloomberg is trying to push right now, saying, hey, I know that the CPI numbers came in at about 7%. Don't be worried, everybody stay calm. It's actually good for people who are in the middle class and bad for rich people, because that couldn't be further from the truth. That is what we call fake news and virtue signaling. Oscar V says double-digit increase in 2022 in Miami. Yep, I believe Miami is now one of the most expensive housing markets in the United States, which is wild. Paramount Miami World Center, good to see you. Gigi NYC is here, good to see you, Gigi. Jose Sanchez, it's good to see you. But EBITDA, are you excited for earnings season? Carolina Tom says, Tom, you will be shocked at how bad earnings will be. Cash is king at the moment, 6 weeks till we get anything good. Yeah, I guess we'll have to see, Carolina Tom. I mean, you could definitely be right. We were at 30 increases last year. Wow. There's the same thing that's going on in LA, New York City, and Miami. NNB 045 says, hey Tom, Bank of Canada will raise rates this month according to business media here. What's up, NNB 045? Good to see you. Ron says, good evening, Tom. What's up, Ron? Sunshine After Rain is here. Miss Bash is here. What's up, Miss Bash? It is a windy Thursday in Miami. John Ellis's bank earnings tomorrow should be good, but maybe baked in. Ian says insane couple of weeks for oil. Where does it go from here, Tom? Well, I think long term, if we look at crude futures, I think crude oil futures are going to continue to climb higher. I think I'm on the same side as BlackRock. And BlackRock warned that we are going to be entering a commodity super cycle. So that means higher gas prices, higher energy prices, much higher food prices. And I think that's probably correct. But Ian, it's good to see you again. But that is right, everybody. Tomorrow, oh, this is Joe and the Juice Coffee. This is a great place. EBITDA says, Tom, what is your thoughts on inflation? Yeah, EBITDA, I think inflation is going to continue to ramp. And I think the Federal Reserve needs to raise interest rates, but they're probably going to continue to kick the can down the road. And look, even if the Federal Reserve raises rates like 1 or 2 times, that's not going to be enough to really push away inflation. It's just not. I mean, I believe something like 70% of all US dollars were created over the past year. And what happens is we really need to keep our eye on money velocity, because money velocity means the rate at which cash travels through the economy. And at some point, money velocity is going to pick up. And when that happens, that means all of those extra dollars are going to be chasing the same amount of goods and services. And when that happens, that's when you see hyperinflation. Hey, Bitsmag TV is here. What's up, Bitsmag TV? Good to see you. I hope you're well. A lot of traffic tonight, guys. Everybody seems to be going into this hotel. Hey, Dante Rose is here. Says, hi, Tom. Tony Cortez. Good to see you. Edwin says, $10,000 common stock purchase. What do you buy? I cannot advise on that, unfortunately. I can't tell you what to buy. Lucas says, hi, Tom. I'm here 30 minutes late. What's up, Lucas? Good to see you. Mets fan 31 says, tax AOC. Oscar V says, in 2 months, we are going back to humidity. Yeah, so for me, I don't really mind humidity, to be honest. I'm a little bit weird like that. I do not mind the humid, but it actually is kind of nice nowadays. EBITDA says, agree. Says, explaining velocity to me is funny. Great explanation for the chat, though. Yeah, I mean, not everybody knows, everything, so I just like to explain it. EBITDA says, in 2 months, maybe we will go back to work in the office. Yeah, so EBITDA, a lot of my friends who work in, finance in New York, they were brought back into the office after Thanksgiving. And now they just received blanket emails company-wide that says everybody has to go back to working remotely until the 18th of January. So in my opinion, I think it's going to be a new normal where people work remote indefinitely. And we just had a piece of news come out of Robinhood. And for those of you who don't know, Robinhood is the retail broker-dealer, a very famous retail broker-dealer on Wall Street. And they just came out with an announcement that they are going to have the vast majority of their workforce work remote indefinitely. So forever, Robinhood is going to keep their employees home and work remote. So what is this going to mean for the real estate market? What is this going to mean for the office market? Because there was a record amount of new leases that were just signed over the past year because everybody thought that they were going to return to the office. But with the new Omicron variant, everybody has been forced back to remote work. You know, before the Omicron really took off, you know, I was meeting clients again. I was taking them out to dinner. But now all of my major meetings have been canceled across the East Coast. EBITDA says, Tom, yeah, I know Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Blackstone are all working remotely too. So EBITDA, what do you think is like the long-term implications of that? You know, I'd like to know your thoughts because you actually work for a major investment bank. So you could probably provide some more clarity for the chat. I know all the major Wall Street banks tried to bring their employees back after Thanksgiving, but they quickly reversed course. And a lot of tech companies are doing the same thing. So I don't know if we're going to have a full-on return to office ever. I think it's going to be an indefinite and permanent hybrid situation. And just like we're seeing with a lot of companies, you know, we first heard from Twitter. Twitter is 100% remote. And now Robinhood, which is a retail brokerage exchange, is going 100% remote. Tortellini says, Tom, office space is obsolete. Bernard Friedman says, hey, the Swan is here. What's up, the Swan? Ash M says, same with my company. They originally said the 17th, and now they extended it through the rest of the month. Yeah, Ash M, isn't that interesting? Right, so that is getting a lot of landlords and major, you know, office landlords really scared and really worried. But for me, in my opinion, I think this is going to be very bullish for a lot of the flexible office space. So if you think about a WeWork or a SurfCorp or something like that. Hey, Faith is here. It says, hello, Tom and Mods. What's up, Faith? Good to see you. Hey, Ken says, CS is working remotely until February 1st. Isn't that crazy how everybody reversed course so fast? So I've been working with a lot of the sales teams, the enterprise sales teams and the public sector sales teams at T-Mobile. And they originally did the same exact thing. What they did is they brought everybody back to the office. And I actually had a lot of meetings with the public sector guys, with the enterprise guys. Oh, look at these guys coming across the bridge. This reminds me of New York City. We do the same thing in New York. So anyway, but now they brought everybody back to working remote. So I don't know what this means for the property market, but we'll see. Hey, Tom says, tidings of comfort and joy. 10-4, copy that. Hey, Jeff says, I've worked in tech for 20 years and I've had global distributed teams that entire time. For tech, this is nothing new. Yeah, Jeff, I think you're 100% correct. I've worked in tech as well my entire career, not 20 years. I'm only 26. But as a sales, I was an enterprise account executive, major account executive. And for me, we would really only have to be in the office for about an hour a day for our morning meetings, right? And then we would go out and see clients, go out to dinners, things like that, do sales presentations and implementations on site. But I think this is becoming a new normal now with working remote, especially for finance. But in the finance industry, it's very rare to have people working remote. You know, investment bankers, they usually pull ridiculous hours in the office, 80 hours, 90 hours a week. So we'll see if this has any staying power. The Mighty Bull says the new normal is working from home and remote. Sunshine after rain says beautiful view, Tom. Hey, Christy S. in Iowa is here again. What's up? Rolly Cannoli says Massachusetts here. Bernard Friedman says this reminds me of the movies. What's up, Bernard Friedman? Ross Raya is here. How are you? Emilio J says, now that's bullish. Agreed, Emilio. Hey, Jared Covey says, Bitcoin is a commodity according to the CFTC. that might take some price pressure off traditional commodity inflation hedges, question mark. So I don't know about that, but what I will say is, here's the one thing I will say about Bitcoin, and it sort of piggybacks off of what we were talking about yesterday. And that is, for this Bitcoin thing to really work, and for all of these outlandish price targets that a lot of the analysts give it, in order for it to work, you need a pure play institutional onboarding platform where the largest hedge fund managers, mutual fund managers, and even sovereign wealth funds and pension funds can get access to buying and acquiring Bitcoin. And those, I like to say, pipes are not in place just yet. They will be in place, but they're not in place just yet. And I think there's a lot of big hedge fund managers that are waiting on regulatory clarity from the SEC in relation to Bitcoin before they start to launch full-fledged Bitcoin trading desks. One of which being Citadel Securities, and I think we're moving in the right direction because a massive, oh, look at this. Because a massive cryptocurrency trading firm just made about $1 billion investment in the Citadel. Hey, NYC Rich says, what's up, bro? How are you? What's up, NYC Rich? I'm doing really good. We are here in downtown Miami on a very windy night, overlooking the incomplete Aston Martin building. Hey, Buy the Book is here. It says, hey, Tom, I think teleworking is here to stay and will likely adversely affect commercial real estate values. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have to see. As I get more work done remote personally, 2 hours less commuting and a little less socializing. Oh, definitely. I think productivity is definitely gone through the roof. Has definitely gone through the roof. And I think a lot of companies can squeeze every ounce of lifeblood out of their employees with remote work because you're not commuting 2 hours a day, like you said. You know, you are sitting at your desk, you're doing work. I remember during the height of the pandemic, I was in my New York City apartment working on deal books and PowerPoints almost to midnight, 1 in the morning, just because there was no cutoff point. So I think you make a great point there. Hey, Robert is here. Says, hey, Tom, Miami looks nice tonight. What's up? What's up, Robert? How are you? George Lopez is the comment I made to Wendy was if we lose signal, it's all Wendy's fault. That's a nice Tesla right there. Carrie F, good to see you. Tom says, anybody fishing? Not today. We did see some fishermen yesterday, though. Ken Glass says, evening, Tom. What's up, Ken? John L says, there's very little income in the crypto market if anybody cares. There's very little income. What do you mean by that, John? Because there's actually, I would actually say the opposite. I think you're seeing a lot of movement towards DeFi and yield farming in the cryptocurrencies market. Running at altitude says, not to mention the amount saved by not going to the dry cleaners. That is so true. Running at altitude, like I almost miss not wearing a suit. I used to suit up and wear a suit every single day to work. But now, some days I'm just in shorts and a t-shirt, just doing regular Zoom meetings. Hey, Alex says, right now there is a CrossFit series in Miami's Bayfront Park. I think we just passed by that not too long ago. So we are once again here at the W Hotel. Hey, Lady O is here. What's up, Lady O? NMB045 says, no income probably means no dividends. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, if we're talking about a cryptocurrency, that's one of the main sort of criticisms, right? Is that, you know, why would I buy Bitcoin when it doesn't produce any income? Well, I think you just have to wait for DeFi to really take off, because now I could lend out my Bitcoin on Gemini, you know, and make a couple points. But if I keep my cash in a savings account, I'm probably not going to make anything. So I think yield farming is actually going to be very, very bullish, and it's very lucrative too. Vinny Castellano says lasagna or ravioli. Lasagna, I'd say lasagna. What about you? Hey, Faith says, where are we headed tonight? Faith, we are going to go to Mary Brickell Village tonight. Ibida says, I love wearing a suit a couple times a month. It feels great. Mobility Mark says, I liked Wall Street Skate Bro better, even though you don't talk about skate stuff on your streams, etc. Thank you, Mobility Mark. Well, we're still going to keep the same content, but we had to do a little bit of a name change. But I appreciate you being here. Alex says, love the Miami W columns. Yeah, they sort of look like faces, don't they? Tortellini says, Tom, why do you hate altcoins? Well, it's not that I hate altcoins. I just think the vast majority of the altcoins are fraudulent. And a lot of people run pump and dump schemes, which I think are quite unethical. Maria says, Sao Paulo, Brazil in the house. What is up, Maria from Sao Paulo? NG says, I just had to look up the W Hotel. They have a deal for $509 a night. That doesn't seem like a deal to me. That actually seems like a little bit of a ripoff. Oh, $509 for one night. Jeez. That's like New York City prices. Hey, Matthew P's here. Says, hello, Tom, old chap. What's up, Matt P? Great Edit is here. Welcome, Great Edit. Good to see you. Happy Thursday. Says, hey, glad to be here. Our pal Sanjeev is here. What is up, Sanjeev? Says, good evening, Tom. Sanjeev, we are here on Brickell Avenue. We just walked across the bridge. I know. Yeah, NG's like, that's, I'd rather stay home prices. For sure. I'll give everybody a look at Bank of America Tower, and I think it's fitting to show everybody Bank of America Tower because tomorrow is Friday, and that means the major banks and the financials kick off their Q4 earnings reports. Hey, what's up, Pablo? Good to see you, Pablo. The Swan says, my head would be spinning on a swivel if I were there with so much happening. Yeah, I think there seems to be the most happening on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday nights in downtown Miami, Brickell area. Pablo is here. Good to see you, Pablo. Happy Thursday, my friend. Always good to see you in the chat. Hope you had a good day. Kerry F says, do you plan on getting a car now that you are in Florida majority of the time? I do not plan on getting a car. I take public transportation. I get around fine. NNB045 says, that's why you got to accumulate travel points so you don't actually pay the $509. You know, I think long-term NNB045, I'm very bullish on Airbnb. I think Airbnb is going to be growing increasingly popular. Sanjeev says, I stay in Brickell Key when I'm in Miami. Awesome place, Sanjeev. Oh, here's another Tesla. I think if I were to ever get a car, though, I would get a Tesla like this. Tortellini says, Tom, are you a licensed driver? I am a licensed driver. What about you? I just prefer not to drive. I just don't want the hassle, the liability. I don't want to have to figure out parking. I just don't even want to think about it. The least amount of things that I think about, the better, I think. Hey, Chris L is here. What's up, Chris L? Bradley Wells says, what do you do for fun? Skateboarding, running, playing soccer, things like that. Streaming. Hey, Miguel Gonzalez is here. What's up, Miguel Gonzalez? Photos from around New York says, Tom, what about the Tesla Cybertruck? I would definitely do that. I would definitely get a Tesla Cybertruck. Emilio J says driving in Miami seems incredibly stressful. So, not to upset anybody that's from Miami, but Miami drivers are borderline like sociopaths. I've never seen anything crazier in my life. Sammy Pay is here. What's up, Sammy Pay? Says, why a Tesla? Have you heard of the Cybertruck? I ordered one. So I have heard of a Cybertruck. That's awesome that you ordered one, but I just think that out of all the EVs, I think that Tesla manufactures the greatest one. Lady O, our great moderator from the Garden State of New Jersey, says, smart, keep walking or skateboarding and save that green. No need for a car right now. Yeah, and I mean, I live in major cities, right? I split my time between New York City, and there's absolutely zero reason to have a car in New York City. And here in Miami, where there's buses, there's trains that run through the city, there's skateboards, there's these scooters you could rent. So I don't want to pay the insurance, I don't want to pay the taxes, I don't want to pay for gas. I'd much rather pay $2, get around on the bus. I'm not a big shot, I'm a simple person. Yeah, Sunshine After Rain says Tom is a minimalist. Pablo says B, the only guy on Wall Street driving a pickup. There's a lot of big Wall Street bigwigs that drive pickup trucks. NG is here, says I used to drive in New York City every day and nothing drives me crazier than Florida. Yep. So here we are at the Brickell Outside Mall. I think it's called Brickell City Center. And this is right outside of the KPMG. Hey, Penelope's here. What's up, Penelope? Good to see you. Penelope is joining us from the one and only Tennessee. Tennessee is another state that doesn't have any state income tax. Hey, Tortellini says, that's good, Tom. I personally hate the bus. Too many freaks. Yeah, I mean, I don't judge people. Everybody has their own little quirks. Whatever. I think, you know, just normal, everyday people trying to get to work, trying to make a living, take the bus and the subway. And I think I fit right in with everybody. Hey, AFASA says, greetings. Your MY New Year's Eve stream was awesome. Hey, thank you. Appreciate that. Bernard Friedman says, Tom, Florida gets very humid during the summer, which gives you an uncomfortable feeling. Some people really hate this. Interesting, Bernard. Vike says, I believe 7 states have no state income tax. I think so too. I believe one of the viewers put it in the chat, all the states that don't have any state income tax. Yeah, Vlad says New Hampshire has no state income. Yeah, I mean, so one of the things I noticed about Florida is even though it doesn't have any state income tax, they're going to hit you one way or another. I mean, governments are going to collect tax revenue one way for another. Oh, it's finished. So I'm so horrible at pronouncing names. I apologize. Samantha J says New York City to Tennessee for me. Hey, Faith is here. What's up, Faith? Good to see you, Faith. Carol H says, how often does the bus come? Every 30 minutes. I think it does come every 30 minutes. And one of the good things is that the bus is literally right outside my house. Samantha J, good to see you. Bernard, good to see you. Chris says, is home insurance more complex / more expensive in Florida versus New York because of the risk of hurricanes? 100%. My insurance is through the roof. I think a year just in home insurance, I pay like $3,500. Maybe a little bit more. Hey, running at altitudes is Alaska, Florida, Nevada, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, Wyoming, and Washington do not levy a state income tax. Hey, Andy is here joining us from Korea. Welcome, Andy. Good to see you. Hey, Dr. Ray Ray says hello. Long time no see. Bernard says Miami prices you can compare with New York City prices because it's the second most expensive city behind New York. Yeah, Bernard, isn't that crazy? I would have never thought that Miami would ever get as expensive as New York City. But actually walking around the street, we're actually going to pass by it tonight, but for a one-bedroom apartment, this building was advertising $5,000 a month for a one-bedroom apartment here in Brickell. I could never, ever justify paying $5,000 a month for an apartment. Hey, my friend just texted me. I'm getting a notification on my phone. My friend just texted me that he accepted a job offer, which is great. So one of my buddies used to be an enterprise account executive at a major telecom company, and he was making really good money. He was doing really, really well. But I advised him, just like I advise everybody on the streams, you should be applying everywhere. You should be applying every single company ever. So he's going to make a jump to a software company, and he nearly doubled his base salary. And he just texted me, he just accepted it, so that's awesome. Hey, Soho says, Tom, $5,000 on rent is great if you're making bank. Yeah, I mean, even still, I would want to buy something just so I could build equity. I mean, paying $5,000 in rent is just throwing money down the toilet. Yeah, Robert says, but this is a premier building. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, you know, buying is not only, I mean, is not always better than renting. It's not always better than renting. Hey, Karen Wallace, our friend is viewing from Trinidad and Tobago. Hey, thank you. Trinidad and Tobago is awesome. Bernard says this is a gorgeous mall. What's up, Bernard Friedman? Carolina Tom says live below your means, take profits before the top, have patience to buy back before the bottom. Carolina Tom, I wish there was a way for us to pin that comment. I really like that. Hey, Juan Vargas is here. Says hi from Costa Rica. What's up, Juan? Hey, Juan, what is the weather like this year, this time of year in Costa Rica? But that is a good point. Buying is not all the time, is not always a better strategy than renting. Because look, if you're renting something and the roof starts to leak or the AC goes out and it doesn't work, you know, you just call the landlord and they fix it. But if you own it, you have to pay for a new HVAC system, you have to pick up everything. Hey, Free Robinhood stock is here. It says, yo bro, what's up, Free Robinhood stock? Good to see you. Juan Vargas says it's 19 degrees Celsius here in Costa Rica. Very cool. Hey, Bernard Friedman says I have to sleep now. I'll see you later. Hey, Bernard, I'll see you in the next stream. David says, hey, when do you think it is better to buy than renting? So I think it's better to buy a piece of property if you can have tenants subsidize your cost of living. So what I mean by that is, let's say if you buy a single family home, right? 9 times out of 10, that means you're going to be living in that single family home by yourself. So that means you're paying the mortgage, you're paying the electric, you're paying all the property taxes. But if you could somehow offset that cost via Airbnb or have roommates, then I think it's a good idea to buy. Soho guy says, yo Tom, even if rent was 200, if you don't have cash, there's no point. Agreed. Jerry says, buy the dip, and if the dip gets dippier, average down, says Jerry. I don't know if I agree with that all the time, Jerry, but most times you're right. Hey, Mount Up 718 says, love the lighting on that building. What's up, Mount Up 718? Good to see you. We are across the street from the Apple Store and Lucid Motors here. Robin Hood says, companies love single family and divorced people. Robin Hood stock tomorrow. Financials kick off Q4 earnings. So it's going to be interesting to see how big banks and financial earnings come in. And I'll be paying close attention to credit card data. Hey, Angelina Medan says, where is he right now? We are very close to Mary Brickell Village here in downtown Miami. George Lopez says, that's Tom's future car. Ian says, Tom, I've heard great things about Lucid. Yeah, I mean, I think the vast majority of the EV companies, a lot of them are not profitable, but people are still going nuts over them and buying them. And many went public via special purpose acquisition company or a SPAC. Hey, Penelope's here. What's up, Penelope? Dr. Ray says, it feels like early summer in Miami, Tom. You're lucky, brother. Well, you got to come down. Vike says, New Jersey is one of the worst states for property taxes. That is true. I think New Jersey has some of the highest property taxes out of any state. But then again, I'll tell you guys a quick story. So my friend is looking to buy a house on Long Island. And if my friend buys this house on Long Island, it's going to come with a property tax bill of $15,000 a year. I don't understand how people could justify paying $15,000 a year on property taxes. That's just too much. Oh yeah, that's right. EBITDA in the chat worked on the Lucid Motors deal, CCIV, and it was a monster. Well, God bless you, EBITDA. That's awesome. Penelope says, hey Tom, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I mean, and that's a shame about, New York, because I would much rather buy a house in New York, but the problem is the property taxes. I cannot justify paying out nearly $15,000 in property taxes. I can't justify that. To me, that's wasted money. Yeah, Penelope says, what the heck, crazy taxes. Yeah, I think the two biggest tax places are Long Island, New York, which is a suburb of New York City. And New Jersey also has ridiculous property taxes. So up here is an amazing view. You guys will be able to see it. I'll show you guys. But it seems like a lot of people are out on a Thursday night. I mean, even though the rents are very high on Long Island, you need to be making, a significant amount of cash flow to cover that tax. NNB 045 says $15,000 in property tax essentially offsets the gains you make on selling the house. Oh, it does entirely. That's why I don't understand why anybody would buy a piece of property in New York, which is sad because I'm from New York and I would much rather buy a piece of property in New York. Lady O says, yes, New Jersey has sky-high property taxes as well. Jonathan A is here. Hey, what's up, Jonathan? Happy Thursday. Says Massachusetts can be bad with taxes. Well, I think if you buy a place outside of Boston, I think the property taxes are actually extremely low. Sunshine After Rain is beautiful. Always good to see you, Sunshine After Rain. Daryl says, even here in Illinois, has high property tax, especially Cook County. Is that true, Daryl? I never knew that. I actually thought some suburbs of Chicago were quite affordable, actually. I think this is a pretty cool shot. What do you guys think? So this is the upper level of this mall here, and the two identical looking buildings are here. Beautiful. Soho says Massachusetts is one of the better states. Yeah, that's what I always thought. The Swan says $15,000 in property tax, like paying rent on your property every year. Yeah, I was telling my friend, I'm like, look, that's like buying a new car every year. Yeah, Lost in the Curve says if he can get a tenant or Airbnb it could offset some of the cost. Yeah, I think you're right, but I mean, even still, that's crazy. You're going to be needing to making a significant amount of cash flow to do that. Daryl says, Tom, they were once years ago, but now not anymore. Hey, Jose Sanchez says, Tom, can you show your face so who can dream of you all night? Jesus, Jose. Swan says, how much property tax on a yacht? I actually have no idea. That's actually a good question. If you guys buy a boat, you don't have to pay, I don't think you pay taxes on that. Maybe if you live on it, I don't know. Hey, Rich Gordon. What's up, Rich? Rich Gordon says you live in Miami. I have a question. Why you're not walking daytime on weekends? Why not in other districts? So we will, but I don't walk in the daytime because I work. You know, I'm working from 8 o'clock in the morning to sometimes 8 o'clock at night. I do long hours. I work in tech. So it's not like I could just walk around aimlessly all day. But I'll try to do it on the weekends. I'll try to stream during the day on the weekends, but usually during the day on the weekends, that's when I catch up on my financial models. I go through the 10Ks and stuff like that of a lot of companies that I follow. So it's very difficult for me, you know, to stream during the day. But maybe we'll try to do it. Hey, Triple G is here. Says, hi, Tom. Happy Thursday. What's up, Triple G? Thank you for being here. Hey, Lily says, hello. Happy Thursday. Go hard, brothers, says Jose. That's, oh my God. You guys are crazy. You guys, I like you guys. You guys are funny. No, Jose, not at all. Juan says, I've heard California taxes are high also. Yeah, they are. California taxes are high. 1503, how are you? Chris says, Tom. I want to go back to that comment, Rich Gordon. So Rich, since you're from Miami, what places would you suggest that I go? As somebody that just moved to Miami, I'm new here. What would you suggest? The Austin Tennis says, Tom, do you use Atlassian Stack in your current workflow? So I don't, but I'm actually, well, let's just say tentative on that. Samantha J, good to see you. Hey, Kelly Turner's here. Says it looks nice and warm. I do have an update. So coming February 1st, we will be having another channel. Yes, that is right. It's going to be another channel. It's going to be called Behind the Street. And on the Behind the Street channel, it'll still be run by me. But it is, if you guys want to see my face will be on the Behind the Street channel. Every single day after the market closes, we are going to be doing a 15-minute podcast style stream from my office, doing a complete analysis of the opening and closing bell of the stock market. And we will also be doing a narration of the Behind the Street newsletter. So February 1st is when we will go live at the Behind the Street channel. I'll make sure to leave a link in the Nightbot, so if you guys want to subscribe there, we could hang out. It'll be behind my desk in the office, and we will do a stock market analysis. So stay tuned for that. Hey Roy S., good to see you. Jane, how are you? Rich says, we'll be fine if you will walk around on the weekends. Yeah, in Coral Gables, maybe we'll do that. Mount Up says, oh man, another stream for me. I'm getting addicted. So this stream is going to be one of the more boring ones, I think. So it'll just be me behind my desk, right at around 4:15. So the closing bell here on the East Coast, the stock market closes at 4 o'clock. So we'll be going live at 4:15, and we will do a recap of the day. We'll cover the debt markets, the bond market, commodities market, everything like that. But it will be on my second stream, Behind the Street, and I will make sure to leave a link in the description for you guys. Hey, Obama says, maybe Tom can go catfish. Oh, geez. Obama, good to see you. Charlie Richardson says, awesome. What's up, Charlie? Good to see you. Yeah, so a lot of people have been telling me to check out Coral Gables, Key West. What was the other one? Naples, Florida. Hialeah. Aventura. Yeah, we're definitely going to do it. XXX says, Tom, is it true that New York City is mostly automated? What do you mean by that? New York City is mostly automated. Oh, the NYSE, yeah. I thought you meant New York City. Yeah, so a lot of the trading is all algorithmic now. So the vast majority of trading on Wall Street is all quantitative and algorithmic based. So that is true. And that's why the New York Stock Exchange, it's really irrelevant. The only reason why they keep the New York Stock Exchange open is really for just a TV studio at CNBC. There's really no real use case for the New York Stock Exchange. This is one of my favorite views here from the Brickell City Center. XXX is Key West and Naples for sure. Hey, Logan Hall says South Beach is where it's at. Mango's Tropical Cafe. You can also see Hulk Hogan's house. Interesting. We'll have to check that out one day. Hey, Deborah S says, LO, it's Dade County, folks. I double dare you to walk around. So Rich says, I advise in Hialeah. Kelly Turner says, where did you move there from? I'm from New York. But we're going to split our time 50-50. So 50% of the time we are going to be in New York City, and 50% of the time we are going to be here in Miami. No, Jose, not at all. You're a great friend of ours. Hey, Chris says, way to go on the new stream. Thank you so much. Hey, Gerald says, Tom, do you still offer career mentoring? If you want to shoot me an email, I'll help in any way I can, for sure. But I mainly specialize if you want to get a job in software sales. I could definitely help you out. Hey, Shop by Scott is here. What is up, Shop by Scott? Says hello, Wall Street, Walks in Wall Street family. What's going on? Sally says, hi, Tom, beautiful view. What's up, Sally? Kelly Turner says, I love New York. Hey, Mark Davis says, good evening there, Tom. Hope all is well with you. Wishing you well from Toronto. What's up, Mark Davis? Good to see you. Well, Kelly Turner, hope to see you on another stream, because we will be streaming from New York City as well as Miami. I am trying to get out of going to New York City this month, but I may have to go to New York City this month, but I'm trying to get out of it. Hey, British Gray says, congratulations on your success, Tom. I will be subscribing to your other channel. Appreciate that, British Gray. So British Gray is joining us from Tampa, Florida. but I'll keep you guys updated on the second channel, I promise. It's in the works. Definitely in the works. Vike says, Tom, do you think the markets are manipulated? So I really don't. I don't think that the markets are overall manipulated, to be honest. Shot by Scott says, you're the king of Brickell. I know. Chrissy in Iowa says, everybody's wearing shorts. I'm so jealous. Mrs. Falcone says, locally, you should stream in Wynwood, Design District, Little Haiti. We'll have to check it out. Thank you for the suggestions, everybody. Really appreciate it. The Austin Tennis says, Tom, how do you get confident in cold calling? It's just with repetition. So the Austin Tennis, you just have to constantly do it and don't take anything personal. That's the advice I would give to you. Don't take anything personal and just do it. Kelly Turner says, I'm going to Brooklyn on February 2nd. Can't wait. Oh, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. Brooklyn's awesome. EBITDA says, there is always insider trading, but for the most part, everything is priced into the market. Agreed with EBITDA. Oh, so EBITDA, I was going to ask you. I think in the last stream, you told me that you may get a place down here in Miami. Where's your head at with that? Do you think you're going to pull the trigger, or you still need some time to think about it? What are your thoughts on that? So the Austin Tennis, another thing that I would advise you about sales is what you want to do is try to work your way out of cold calling. And the way you do that is by building a very stable book of business and asking for a lot of referrals. So the vast majority of my business now doesn't even come from cold calling. It just comes from my former clients giving me recommendations and referrals. FB says, where are you right now? We are in Brickell, and we are about to walk around Mary Brickell Village. Mark Davis, it's good to see you. Mark is our medical marijuana expert in the chat. Kelly Turner says, I always have a good time in Brooklyn. Brooklyn is phenomenal. So contrary to what a lot of people think, Brooklyn is actually a little bit more expensive than Manhattan in some places. As crazy as that may seem, but it is true. Hi, one question, is not inflation good for you because people have money and you could sell? So I'm not sure, I think you worded your question a little bit weird, but I'll give you my thoughts on inflation. Inflation is very bad for people who are on a fixed income and for the middle class. But inflation is very good for people that are very wealthy. And the reason for that is because inflation is not just in the prices of food and things like that or different commodities. You have inflation in the prices of assets. And the top 1% or the top 10% are the vast majority of people who own these specific assets. So they are able to overcome the inflationary pressures because their assets that they own are going up so much. Hey, Lunch Club is here. It says, hey, Floridians, nice view. What is going on? Hey, Cosmo Scary is here. What's up, Cosmo? Charles Lyons says, I want a place in Miami too. Do you have any recommendations? Oop, everybody, we may have to end the stream early tonight because my gimbal died. But maybe I'll take it out and we'll just walk around for a little bit more. Hold on one second. Stand by. It'll be like a Twitch stream. Let's see. Please stand by. So any recommendations for a place in Miami? So I would not look to rent a place or buy a place here. I would try to look a little bit north. So I would go to North Miami Beach, right south of Aventura, because I think the vast majority of the new development is going to start pushing up. I think it's going to be exactly like New York City. So don't buy in very, very high rent district or expensive places. What I would do is I would focus on, you know, buying in up and coming neighborhoods where prices are still a little bit more affordable. Penelope says Twitch style. Jonathan Francis, my friend, is renting his house in Miami for $20,000 a month. Jeez. $20,000 a month is ridiculous. I don't know if I could ever justify that. I mean, how big is the house that he's rented for $20,000 a month? I mean, that's insane. NMB045 says, Tom, do you know the famous YouTuber Eric Conover? His rent is $10,000 a month. So I don't, but I'm definitely going to look it up. See, I couldn't justify paying that though. I mean, I don't know. I don't know about you guys. Even if I had that money, like let's say I was making that much money to be able to afford $20,000 a month in rent, I just don't think I could ever do it. I just really don't think I could ever do it. What about you guys? Yeah, like Tortellini says, I'd rather put the money elsewhere. Hey, Western Mass Dave says, evening, Tom, my friend. Good to see you. Oh, Jonathan says the place is 8,000 square feet. Dude, that's massive. That is, so 8,000 square feet is almost 8 times the size of my house. Dude, that place must be a mansion, man. Hey, Italian Sister says, became a subscriber during Christmas. Love yourself. Oh, during Christmas. Awesome, thank you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it very much. Michael says, I agree. I live in North Miami Beach and the houses are super expensive. Hollywood and up are good. Hey, Valentina says, hello, Tom and everybody. Good evening. What's up, Valentina? So I'll give you guys a little bit of an idea. So when I was originally looking to buy a house here in Miami, I was looking in a place called Normandy Shores or Normandy Isles. And that place, at the time, a lot of the houses I was looking at were going for like $500,000. Houses have turned into $750,000 and $1 million houses. So I'm like, okay, definitely can't live there. So the next town over that was the closest to the beach, you know, North Miami Beach is about 2.5 miles from Sunny Isles Beach, Florida. So you could still get a house there for about $350,000 to $400,000. So I just bought a house in that neighborhood, and the rental income that I'm going to get is going to cover the mortgage completely. So in 10 years, you know, well, maybe not 10 years. In 20 years, I'm going to have the mortgage paid off and even more rent. And hopefully the property values go up. Samantha J says, yes, give money to charities, help cats and dogs, and of course, other humans in need. 1503 says, hey, Jose. What's going on? Lunch Club says, aren't you happy you live in affordable Florida? At least some areas are still affordable. Yeah, I mean, this area that we're in is definitely not affordable, in my opinion, but I absolutely love Miami so far. Shop by Scott says, Tom, we looked at an $800,000 house in Miami Shores last year. It was just sold for $1.1 million last week. Jeez. So Scott, are you familiar with Normandy Shores? That is like my favorite neighborhood in all of Miami. Jonathan Francis and my friend paid rent up front. Wow. Michael says, lucky you, I saw a house for $500,000, 1,600 square foot. So my house is roughly, I believe, 1,200 square feet. And I think I paid a lot for it, but I got it with the because the owner paid the closing costs for the house, and I got it for about $395. So I think I made a good buy, but I also I have to put some work into it, including some stuff with the septic tank in the back. But the property is going to cash flow, which is all that matters. Hey, San Miguel says, good evening, I'm late. What's up? What's up, San Miguel? Hope you're well. We are turning into a Twitch stream tonight because the gimbal broke. Hey, Faith is here, says, nice, Tom, thank you. Jose Sanchez says, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Jerry says, I'm moving next to a Let's Go Brandon Sports Bar. Jeez. San Miguel says, just finished class. Jerry says $395,000 is less than a studio here in Irvine, California. My God. So I will tell everybody, being from New York, I'm used to living in like a literal shoebox. So being able to live in a 1,200 square foot house, even though that's relatively small, but having a backyard and also, being able to have a front yard, backyard, patio, waking up, the sun is shining, it's really a blessing, honestly. Vikes' houses are selling within days in New Jersey. They are put on the market. The same thing is going on in Long Island, which is really bizarre. Toms, can you stop saying that in the chat? Hey, Edson is here. What's up, Edson? Chris's palm trees, yes. John L says, my first house was the 33 room that you paid $40,000 for. Are you sure? 33 rooms? James Davidson says, yes, I'm very happy with my one-bedroom condo. 1503 says, I'm on vacation. I just had to run away. At 1 a.m., it was so filthy. I'm at a 4-star hotel now. Very cool. That's awesome. Hey, Atomic Skittles says, Tom, do you like Los Angeles? So I've never been to Los Angeles, but I would definitely like to go. Would definitely like to visit one day. Yeah, Charlie Richardson says Miami has some gorgeous homes. So I don't think we've ever been up here on the stream before. Robert says houses in San Francisco are going for $1 million over asking. I think that's too much. I don't understand how people are paying that. Kevin Sunderland says $1,600 in property taxes here in LA. It's actually not bad at all, Kevin. Hey, Def Jeff says, where are the people at? They're back there, but we are walking over here for now. We will walk back. Jay says that's a cool view. What's up? What's up, Jay? Hey, MB Reef says, what's up, everybody? What's up, MB Reef? Good to see you. Michael says, hey, Tom, have you ever been to South Point? I don't think so. I've never been to South Point. Cosmos Scary says, looks good for no gimbal. FB says, are the stores closed? Yes, the vast majority of them are. XXX says, it's not people that are paying that, Tom. BlackRock and Vanguard are buying them up. Yeah, so XXX, that is what a lot of people are saying. But if you look at the data, the vast majority of single-family home sales are not big private equity firms and venture capital firms. But it is a sizable amount in the market, I do agree. But it's not like all of the single-family homes are being bought up by investment companies, but a lot are. And one notable one was when Zillow had their egregious disaster in iBuying, and they took about a $500 million write-down and had to sell all their single-family homes. And once that happened, there was a lot of fake news going around on YouTube saying that's going to crash the housing market because all of these single-family homes are going to flood the market. But what a lot of people don't understand is that in the real estate business, especially if you're a major company like Zillow, when you individual investors or individual people, it's not like Zillow is going to list their house for sale and sell it to me. These are going to be massive bulk buy orders from big real estate investment trusts and Wall Street investment banks. So they're not even going to be able to hit the market to sell to regular people. They're just going to go to big real estate investment trusts on the street. Hey, Kevin Sunderland, thank you so much for the $20 donation. Says that was a major typo. I pay $16,000 in property taxes in LA. But when it's 75 degrees in February, it doesn't hurt as much. Yeah, Kevin, I think you're right. That is a ton. That's exactly like what people pay in Long Island. But thank you for the donation, and thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate it, Kevin. Domicile 3 says, I live in a 4,000 square foot dome out in the country. Very cool. All right, everybody, please stand by. I'm going to put the dead gimbal in my bag, so the phone may be going around. All right. So let's head back downstairs. I'll show you guys the view and then we'll head back downstairs. Hey, Lost in the Curve says developers need incentives to build more starter homes instead of McMansions. US is $4 million or 4 million houses short in inventory. Yeah, you're spot on, man. And I think that's one of the major reasons why there's a big housing shortage in places like LA. And the reason for that is because all the rules and regulations make it impossible for builders to get permits to build. So I think you're 100% right. Hey, Jose Chaz, or Joey Chaz is here. Says they say this summer is going to be smash and grab paradise. Lunch Club is here. Says, Tom, best thing I did was sell my apartment in Brooklyn. We own a house upstate, but we're thinking of moving to Florida and California. Very cool. You must have got top dollar for your place in Brooklyn, so congratulations on the sale. That's awesome, man. I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. So this is one of my favorite views in Miami. Hey, Valentina's here. Good to see you, Valentina. Optivins is groovy. Lunch Club, good to see you. Penelope, Chris Hansen is here. Obama, what's up? Hey, Brad says, what is it like hitting your first 100K in stocks / net worth? So for me, that was a very, very euphoric moment. I remember exactly where I was when my net worth crossed $100,000. I remember the exact day and everything. But then you sort of get over it, because for me, you know, when I was in college, that was my goal. I'm like, I want to have $100,000 in stocks. I want to have $100,000 net worth. But I will say this, Once you have $100,000 in liquid net worth, I'm not talking about $100,000 tied up in home equity. I'm talking about $100,000 in liquid net worth. That's the point I think you could really start to get things working. And what I mean by that is, you know, if you put $100,000 in the market and you're making 7% on that every year, you know, that's going to compound out a lot. You know, over 10 years, the compounding really takes over once you start to hit $100,000 in net worth liquid. Hey, Kumar is here. What's up, Kumar? So let's head downstairs and walk around a little bit. Jonathan Francis, I remember losing almost 100K and almost got sick. Chris Hansen says, what does that mean? You can stand on 100K worth of green US money. I'm not sure what that means. Bread says that's very cool. Penelope. NMB's that housing bubble in Canada is overblown. Credit quality of mortgage holders is good for a bubble. So that's something we talk about on the stream all the time. And I think it's the same narrative here in the United States too, where a lot of people will talk about, hey, you know, the real estate market, it's in a bubble, it's going to crash. Well, a lot of people don't. Because the 2008 financial crisis is the quality or the credit quality of the mortgages, and the underwriting departments at the major banks and mortgage brokers, their underwriting standards were very egregious. So a lot of people were getting homes when they really couldn't afford them, right? So a lot of mortgage bankers were forcing people into adjustable rate mortgages, which means your mortgage is not fixed rate. So when interest rates went up, people were hit with balloon payments, and we had so many defaults at once. But now, like, if anybody is going through the process of buying a home right now, it's near impossible to get a mortgage. I mean, you have to be very well established. You need a solid down payment, you need a great job, a great income, a great credit score, or else you're not going to get a loan. You know, in 2008, you could walk into a mortgage loan office, you didn't even have to show income verification, and they were going to give you a mortgage. Right, but now the tables have turned. So that's a good point you make, NNB 045. In the 2008 financial crisis, a lot of people were suckered into getting adjustable rate mortgages with very high fees, and that led to massive defaults all at once. So I think you make a good point for sure. Jonathan Francis, what rate did you get, Tom? I think I got just about a 3% interest rate. So pretty much free money. I got right about a 3% interest rate. So that means the money is pretty much free. Hey, Faith is here, says, I think that's my favorite building. What's up, Faith? Shop by Scott says, the property spans 3 city blocks, so it's quite a marvel to look at. Lunch Club says people were hustled. That was awful. Yeah, it was terrible. And just to give you guys an idea, here in Southern Florida, one of my good friends is a real estate agent. That's who I bought my house from. And he said the vast majority of his clients are either paying all cash or at least 25% down. And if you look at the statistics, if you put 25% down on a property, the default rate literally goes to zero. If you are a person that's putting 25% down on a property, it's very, very rare you're going to get them to default. MKC Updates is Walks in Wall Street Tom. Do you have a house in Miami? I do. So I bought a place in North Miami Beach, Florida. Marilyn says, I saw an ad for a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom in Mott Haven in the Bronx, $2,200. That is crazy. For the Bronx? $2,200 for the Bronx. That is way too ridiculous. But Marilyn, good to see you. Yeah, Photos from Around New York says 3% is a great interest rate. I agree. 3% is really good. You know, if you think about if inflation is running at 7% and you could borrow 3% to buy an income producing asset, you know, it's essentially the bank is giving you the money for free, which is kind of wild. Jose Sanchez says, Tom, you should have your own talk show. Chris Hansen says, what do you eat when you were down there in Miami? I eat a lot of Cuban food down here, a lot of Cuban food. Emilio J says, Tom, is your Italian side of the family crazy? I'm half Italian too, and that side of the family is bonkers with drama. I mean, my family's pretty good. I like my family. Not crazy, which I think is good. Dante Rose says, thank you, Tom, for the streams. Enjoy your day tomorrow. Thank you, Dante. But Emilio J, I definitely understand how some people can be really crazy in the family, definitely. I think that's another McLaren. We see about one McLaren a day on the stream. Yeah, Photos from Around New York is like arroz con pollo, chicken and rice. Obama says Tom has more ratings than CNN. So speaking about CNN ratings, I think the CNN ratings actually just came out, and I think that they are the worst they have ever been in history. And a lot of online YouTube talk shows are actually beating out mainstream media and regular cable news TV networks, which I think is great. I think the new wave of news is going to be coming from platforms like YouTube. MKC Updates says, Tom, is it easy to get credit to bought property through Miami banks? So I use JP Morgan Chase, and it was literally almost impossible to get a loan, and I put 25% down on my property. So think about that. So for a person in this environment that's putting 25% down on a property, and I still had a hard time getting approved for a mortgage, and my credit is near perfect. Think about that. So that's what leads me to believe that this housing boom is going to continue, because almost nobody is going to default. It's literally impossible if people are buying homes with cash, putting 25% down, have great credit scores, have great jobs. I mean, the default rates are going to be near record lows. But again, you know, never say never, so we'll see. Hey, Will Pittman says mainstream news is dying and they're baffled by it. You think they'd realize they need to change course, I know. Which I think is a good thing, because the mainstream media has a narrative, both on the right and the left, that is very polarizing. I think when people watch live shows on YouTube, or, you know, just go out and talk to people, I think they get a better perspective of what's going on in the world. For example, I'll give you guys a good example. Let me know what you guys think. If you watch Fox News, everything on Fox News is that New York City is burning to the ground. New York City, it's terrible. But when you watch a New York City live stream from like Action Kid or Walking Commuter or Ann, New York Life Vlog, or anybody, you see the vast majority of New York is normal. Everybody's having fun. Everything is fine. I mean, yeah, not everything is perfect, but if you watch the news, you think the whole city's burning to the ground and people are getting murdered left and right. But if you actually are in New York City, you know, you understand that, yeah, things could improve and things are better. Things could get better. But it's not like it's Armageddon. And if you watch CNN, you would think, oh, Southern Florida and Florida in general, everybody's dying left and right, dropping dead of COVID. Ron DeSantis is destroying the state. Everybody's miserable in Florida. But when you watch a stream like mine, I mean, what do you guys think? I've been streaming in Florida every day for about a week, live, unedited videos. And do people seem like, you know, it's miserable? I mean, everything seems fine. So I think the mainstream media on both sides has their own narrative that they want to push. So I think it's important to take everything what they say as a grain of salt. Vike says, Tom, crime is out of control in New York. Marilyn says CNN has lower ratings than TLC, 90-day finance reality show. Interesting. Hey, James Tiger says, I do not watch Fox or CNN. Yeah, Photos from Around New York says news always has their narrative. Well, they're just trying to sell advertising, you know what I mean? Sunshine After Rain says Armageddon. Samantha's J is so true. People are seeking nothing but the truth. It's about time. Charlie Richardson says that's so true, Tom. Look at this dog, how adorable it is. Check it out. Namaste says scooters are popular in Miami. Get a scooter. Yeah, we'll have to try it one day on the stream. Triple G says, Tom, any celebrity sightings in Miami? So no, I don't really see any celebrities, but I'm not interested in any of these people. Not to be like mean, but I don't know. I've never been that person that, you know, if I see a celebrity, I'm gonna hound them for like a picture. It's just like I don't. I don't know. It's just my personality. Like, for example, let's say Brad Pitt just walked right past me. I probably wouldn't hound the guy because he's probably just, you know, trying to have a good night and eat dinner just like everybody else is. And he's probably going to get attacked by everybody. So I think I just try to respect everybody's privacy. So this is Mary Brickell Village. Hey, Marjan Worldwide is here. What's up, Marjan Worldwide? Good to see you, Marjan. Always good to see you. Samantha J says, Tom, do you have any pets? I do have pets. I have a beagle. Yeah, Shot by Scott. Agreed. Sabrina Fair says, I want a cocktail there. Marilyn, I agree. Vic Vargas is it warm enough to swim in the beach? It is warm enough to swim in the beach. Hey, Denner says, your pronunciation is very good. Thank you, Denner. So one of the things I'd like to add is a lot of people will email me. Denner Patrick, so say my name. Well, Denner, thank you for joining. I appreciate you very much. Joey Chaz says, Tom, how is crime in Miami? Look, in my opinion, if you live in any major city, you're always going to have crime. I don't think it matters where you are. I think you just have to make the most of it. But ever since I've been here, everybody's been super respectful, really helpful. I really like the people in Miami, so I don't have any complaints. Somebody says, do I have a political preference? I don't really like to get too political on the stream, but I do tend to, I would say more libertarian than most. Hey, Dennis says, where are you from? I am from New York. Marjan Worldwide says, I heard you talking about my man Walking Commuter. I love Walking Commuter. So when I first started streaming, ooh, it's getting windy. When I first started streaming, I used to get blasted with emails from people saying that they thought I was Walking Commuter. They're like, hey, you sound exactly like Walking Commuter. I never knew you skateboarded. I'm like, I'm not Walking Commuter, but everybody says we sound the same. Robert says you do sound like Gabe. Well, you never know. I mean, maybe Gabe has a teleportation device where he could stream in the morning from New York and stream at night in Miami. So how is the new mic working, everybody? Because it is so windy here. The wind is picking up like crazy.
Wait for me here. My mom's gonna drop me off here.
Hey, Vinny is here from India. What's up, Vinny? Good to see you. Thank you to all of our Indian viewers. Good to see you. Wow, Namaste says no wind noise. That's awesome. So this new mic must be working well. Hey, Devon Avery is here. What's up, Devon? Good to see you. Yeah, a lot of people, I'm going to show you guys my email box one night, because my email box is either filled with people thinking that I'm Walking Commuter or with people asking me for a job, which is fine. I'll help anybody get a job, but it's not like I could give you a job. And then the other half is people asking me to start skateboarding again, which we will, I promise. We're going to start skateboarding again. Hey, Roller Cannoli says, how do you keep the camera so still? So our, whatever it's called, the thing went dead, unfortunately. The gimbal, but we're doing our best just to hold the phone with our hand. Marjan Worldwide says, Tom, you need to start surfing. Denner Patrick says, I like your channel. Hey, thank you. Feel free to subscribe if you are new. Devon Avery says, there are so many parks in Miami, and they seem to come alive once the sun goes down. Ooh, I really want to walk down there, but maybe we'll do that tomorrow night. Roly cannoli? What the heck, man? That's funny. So this is the oyster bar here. Dennis says, I'm from Brazil. Welcome. Hey, Sabrina Fair is here. What's up, Sabrina? Hope you're well. Good to see you. Devon Avery says, when I lived in Pembroke Pines, I used to live next to a retired NFL athlete. That's awesome. Well, Pembroke Pines is a very nice area. At least that's from what I hear. It's a very, very nice area. Hey, Foxboy TV says, Tom, Brickell has changed so much. Yeah, everybody I talk to on the stream tells me that just 5 years ago, this place looked entirely different. Which is nice. Yeah, just 5 years ago, this place was not like this at all.
I want your grandma if they're not at our hotel because they don't have any food. I love her so much. It felt like
Faith is so clear. What's up, Faith? Devon Avery says, Flamingo Park is really cool. Right there near Miami Beach. Hey, Shop by Scott says 5 years ago it was nothing, just old dusty office buildings. Luciano says Little Havana is going to become the new Brickell. I've never been there, but we'll have to go there. Devon Avery says they're all gated communities. Triple G says, does your dad hunt with the beagle? We don't go hunting with the beagle. But we may go, I actually may have to go duck hunting with a client, which is going to be quite bizarre, but we'll see. So everybody, tomorrow's stream is going to be very, very, let's just say long. We're going to be covering all of the financial earnings on Wall Street. Q4 earnings kicks off with all the financials reporting tomorrow on Friday. So feel free to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed the stream tonight, and subscribe to the channel if you are new, if you want to see more live streams around Miami and New York City. But tomorrow is going to be a doozy, let's just say. I know, War Walker, I really don't want to go. I really don't want to go either. So I've never been hunting. I just love, these buildings are probably my favorite in all of Miami. Santo A says Hialeah is the new Brickell. So I've never been to Hialeah. Is Hialeah close to Miami International Airport? Miss Bash says, Tom, what is your favorite place to eat at in Miami? So my favorite place to eat in Miami is this place called Sazon Cuban. It is a Cuban food in North Beach. Oscar V says, I've been in this area for 22 years. So Oscar, do you think it's changing for the better? What do you think? It definitely seems like there's a lot more people here. So guys, the duck hunt of Tom's dreams. Hey, Southern QB Vibes is here. What's up, Southern QB Vibes? Good to see you. So we're gonna start walking back now because I have to get the bus anyway. But supposedly this place called Moxie's is a very, very happening place right here. Christian says yes, Hialeah, just south of Miami International Airport. Hey, Francisco is here. What's up, Francisco? Devon Avery says, how do you like the coffee in Miami? So I just found my favorite coffee place ever, and it's in North Beach. It's just outside of Normandy Shores, Miami, and it's by far the best coffee place in Miami, in my opinion. I will link it in the description because a lot of people have been asking me about the best coffee places here. Ooh, Jerry says back in '95, Brickell had some great Cuban coffee places. So I'll show all of the colorful art on the buildings. This is Lady O's favorite. I know, Faith says, Tom, really, you're leaving us early?
Okay, my turn.
Rolly Cannoli says, Tom, would you retire in one of those tall buildings? Probably not. Probably not. I think I would want to retire in a house, not a big high-rise. But my favorite neighborhood is the Normandy Isles or the Normandy Shores area of Miami. Hey, Jose, have a good night. Good to see you, Jose. So I think we're coming up on one of the new Rolls-Royce cars. It is their SUV. Sabrina Ferris says, oh yes, the newsletter. So if anybody wants to sign up for a free financial newsletter written by myself, if you type !news, N-E-W-S in the chat, it'll drop the link where you could sign up for the Behind the Street newsletter. Good to see you, Swan. Everybody, tomorrow we may be streaming live from Sunny Isles Beach, Florida, and hopefully we are able to see a nice sunset from Sunny Isles Beach. So we'll look forward to that tomorrow, and the topic of tomorrow's stream will be earnings. So we will be covering all the major financial earnings. So I think we're passing Lady O's car right now. So Lady O, beautiful car. Foxboy TV says, Tom, check out Coconut Grove. We will. Somebody says, look at the tires. Ooh, I like the view from this angle. Check this out. The Swans is high, Tom. Stream is great. Fun tonight. Appreciate it, the Swan. Thank you for being here as always. It's a beautiful night in Miami. We're actually getting a major cold front coming through. So it's going to get down to a bone-chilling 50 degrees, which is kind of crazy, but... And here's a Tesla. Wow, the more I walk past Teslas here, the more I want to get one, but I'm going to hold strong, everybody. Don't worry, I'm not going to get a car. Hey, Santo A is here. What's up, Santo A? Oscar V, that is crazy. Well, everybody, I'm on 3% battery, so we will have to end it. Paul Payne says, loving the stream. Are you going to connect with James and Carla? Yes, I will be connecting with them. I'm going to send them a message probably tomorrow. But everybody, thank you for joining tonight. I do appreciate it. Lady O, all the moderators, photos from around New York, the Swan, everybody. Thank you for taking a walk with me tonight. Oh my gosh, it's already been 2 hours we've been streaming. I wanted to make it a short stream tonight, but I guess that's par for the course with me. So thank you for joining us. Tomorrow we will be back live here in Miami talking about the major financial earnings. So if you are new here, feel free to leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. And we will see you all right back here tomorrow. And to the Mighty Bull, have a good night wherever you are, because there is always a bull market somewhere. You just need to know where to look. And I will see everybody right back here tomorrow. War Walker, Sally, photos from around New York, and Toronto props. Obama, Devon Avery, Kelly, Faith, Domicile, Fanboy TV, Shot by Scott, everybody, Marilyn. We'll see you later. Have a good night.